Good morning, wonderful people. We're here today to do the first of our 4 video series talking about getting fit in our 40s. And today we're talking about the plan. We're not going to work out today. It's just going to be kind of like a strategy session. I've read this book, this fantasy science fiction book by the author Roger Zelazny. It's like a 10-book series. It's really amazing. It's probably my favorite of all time, actually. But at any rate, it deals with generations. The generations have certain magical powers or abilities, and there's this conversation that takes place between a father and a son, where the second generation doesn't quite understand the first generation's full abilities, and they're talking about shape-shifting, which I found fascinating. And this line stuck with me, where the son asks the father about shape-shifting and why he's unable to do it, and the father replies something to the effect of, "Have you ever tried?" and that always stuck with me for some reason, and it applies whenever you're trying to change your body. That's the first step, is believing you can actually do it and developing a methodology for making it happen. In this science fiction fantasy series, there's magic, but the magic has a method. And so today, we're going to talk about the method for shape-shifting here in real life and changing my body and maybe your body if you want to come along on this journey for the better. Here's the plan. Okay, so let's get started. We've got a lot to cover here this morning. I'm going to go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off here. This is going to be uncomfortable and super embarrassing for me, but you got to start with being honest about where your body is at. I probably should have done this a while back when I was filming that Mark 33 video, and I was like, oh my god, look how big I've gotten, without paying attention to my daily routine. But I'm doing it now. You can go back and look at that video if you want to see me in full-on bulked-out mode. But here's where I'm at. This is a little embarrassing, and I don't like being embarrassed to take my shirt off. There was a time when I was like, yeah, taking my shirt off, and now I'm like, I'm taking my shirt off, and that's not fun. But you got to be honest about where your body is. So let's do this thing. This is where my body is at right now. It's not terrible, but it's also not where I want to be. These are the things that I do. I like to just relax, look at the areas I want to work on. I also like to stick my belly out to see how bad it can be and how bad it has been in the past. And, you know, kind of do the suck in just to make sure that when I'm relaxed and at average, that this is actually relaxed and at average. And this is how I look. It's not amazing. I'm not super proud of it at the moment, but this is where I'm at, and I need to be honest with myself so that I can make the changes that I want to make. Anyway, these are the areas I want to work on. I want this to come in a bit. I also want these to go down a little bit. And, you know, we're not talking like enormous transformation here at this point. I've already taken off a bulk of the weight. I was starting to not be able to see any abdominal muscles underneath belly fat, and that wasn't where I wanted to be. So we're getting there. We're getting better. I'm going to put my clothes back on here, and then we'll talk about how I'm going to get the rest of the way to my goals. Okay, so again, I'm not trying to become a weightlifting rock star here. I don't need to be Dwayne Johnson. I'm not even really going for a slimmer version of like Chris Hemsworth. That's not my body. It's actually never been my body. Even when I was a professional athlete and dancer, I've never actually been that bulky when it comes to musculature. What I'm looking to do is slim myself back down to the point where I don't just have fat in places where it doesn't need to be. So let's start with the plan on how to get there. Here is the plan. Number 1, have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're never going to accomplish your plan. Then these things are simple, and they're things that anybody can do as a part of everyday normal life. That is a part of the plan. I'm going to eat healthy.
I'm going to work on regularly burning calories on a scheduled regime. I'm going to work on toning my muscles, not necessarily bulking up my muscles, but I do kind of want them to look decent. So a little bit of toning work is going to happen here. Then I'm going to celebrate life, because that's also an important part of the mind-body-spirit connection. I'm going to celebrate my life. I'm going to have a good life. I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to do the things I want to do and incorporate those things into my plan, even when that comes to sometimes eating things that are not the most healthy, and stuff like that. So I'm going to celebrate life. I'm going to be mindful, and I'm going to keep a record of what I'm doing, so that I can look back on it and see where I've come and how I've been progressing and what things I need to do better. And then I'm going to evaluate and adapt as needed, and that's going to happen periodically. We'll talk about that a little more. All right, so before we dive back into that spreadsheet, I just wanted to take a quick second to chat about what I am and what I am not trying to communicate to you. I am not one of those young dudes on YouTube or TikTok trying to claim that you can look like me because, you know, just follow my steps and buy my method or buy my product. I'm not trying to sell you anything. If what I'm doing here works for you, that's awesome. If it doesn't work for you, call me a dumbass and turn my video off. It's totally fine. This is what's been working for me, and I just want to share it. And specifically, this is what's been working for me here in my 40s, where my metabolism has gone down and I am needing to actually struggle to balance the weight that I put on a day-to-day basis. In fact, not only am I not trying to sell you stuff, I'm about to give you something for free that I developed that is really helpful for me. It is a calorie calculator. I put together a whole chart. You'll see it. We're going to dive into it next. In fact, here we go. Okay, so for the first part of the plan, after having a plan, is to eat healthy. And if you're going to eat healthy, you got to know what you're putting in your body. You got to be able to keep track of what you're putting in your body. And so I've developed a spreadsheet here that I'm going to post the link to in the description below. I'm going to put it up on a Google Drive. Anybody can download this. You can edit it and use it however you like. But I've done a lot of the hard work for you, so it should be easy, fairly easy for you to go in here and use this effectively to keep track of what you're eating and to really know what you're putting in your body on a day-to-day basis. There are 3 tabs to this spreadsheet. The first tab actually has to deal with alcohol, and I'm going to have another video separately on that at the end of the series, so if alcohol is not like a primary concern for you, you can just ignore that one. Or if you are a beer drinker like me and you want to keep track of your calories, all that stuff, tune into that video. It's going to be the very last video in the series, but we'll talk about this tab later. What you need to know now is that the totals down here punch into our calorie calculator that we will discuss here in a minute. But first, let's talk about calorie intake. I put together a calorie intake chart here. Everything you see up top in this orange color is meats or vegetarian meat replacements. I've got, you know, chicken, beef, lamb, pork. Then I've got things like Impossible and Beyond Meat and corn meat. Amy's Meat. Amy's is a Northern California chain, and it's actually the only fast food I really do anymore. Whenever we're up there, I've got to drop by and get an awesome veggie burger from Amy's. Enough about me. I've got eggs. I've got egg replacer for those of you who don't do eggs, and then we move into fish, salmon, tuna, on down the line. Then when we get to the yellow section, we're talking about vegetables. So this is easily color-coded, so you can see, oh, I'm looking for a meat, it's going to be here in orange. Oh, I'm looking for a vegetable, it's going to be here in yellow. I've got pretty much every vegetable that I put into my body on a regular basis, and then down here at the bottom, I've got a few in the yellow section, things that are not actually vegetables. They're prepared foods that I do eat on a regular basis, so I wanted to keep them on my calorie intake chart for easy reference for me. These are dips that I have on crackers. They're made by Rabbit Hole Foods, which is not sponsoring this video, but I'll be honest with you, they're all awesome, and they're pretty good snack food. So if you're looking for something cool, I get it at Whole Foods, but I'm sure you can get it at other places near you if needed. So moving past the yellow section down into the white section here, we've got our grains. We start with rice, we go into pasta. Again, I've got Annie's mac and cheese, a prepared product that I use from time to time that's not in its raw form, but I wanted to keep track of it here for easy reference, and you'll see how that comes in handy when we move into the calculator portion of this spreadsheet. So the white is grains. Moving down here, we've got more grains, but these are all breads here in the gray section. Again, I put crackers, the particular brand that I use, and the amount that I normally eat in as a serving size is 10. So I wanted to have this handy for future reference, just for easy calculations. You can change any of these things. If you use a different brand of crackers that have a different calorie count, pop in here and change it. You know, download the sheet, use it, make it your own. Do it how you want to do it. You'll also notice here in the middle column, sometimes it says specifically what it is. Like we're talking about bread, we're talking about 2 slices. And in the third column, we're talking about how many calories that particular quantity of that particular item has. So you've got your item, you've got your quantity, your portions, and then you've got your calorie count for that amount of portions of that item. If you just see a number without a descriptor, that means I'm measuring in cups. Cups is just, it's the standard measure I like to use because it's easy to visualize. 1 cup of anything, like you slice it, you dice it, you cube it, whatever, to fill up 1 cup in a 1 cup measuring cup unit, you can use that visual measure for anything from corn and oats to meat to fruit to vegetables. 1 cup works for me. It's what I use the most when I'm cooking, so it's easy. But if you want to change that too, you can change your unit of measure here in the center column and have it be not cups. Do what works best for you. So anyway, after we get past our breads here, I've got my nuts section. I don't eat a lot of nuts, but I do eat a lot of peanut butter. So that's in there. So I've got nuts and butter for peanuts, almonds, and cashews. I've got the calorie counts here. Obviously, these should be the same. Whatever, I'll update this before I upload it online so that your quantities are here for this section. Looks like I missed it on the first draft. Then I move into fruits. Fruits here, again, is in this yellowish color. Everything is in cups as if you have sliced or cubed it and put it into a measuring cup, except for bananas, because I couldn't really quantify that. So we're doing 1 banana at 110 calories on average. I moved from there into dairy. I don't have a lot of dairy in my life, but I do eat cheese, and this is just an average value for cheese. If you want to go in here and like go to different kinds of cheeses, that's fine. I really only use like 1 or 2 kinds of cheeses, and I don't use them that often. I do snack on cottage cheese from time to time, and very occasionally I will have some cereal with some milk in it. So I did quantify milk. I very rarely will have 1 cup of milk, but it's there. If you have milk in your diet, it's already pre-populated for you. In purple down here, I have gone and put some desserts in. I don't eat a lot of desserts either in my life, but when I do, I do like some Walker's shortbread cookies, an import from Scotland. Yeah. And so I've also got a large chocolate chip cookie on occasion when we are like out and about and eating, and at a restaurant, like getting takeout, we will get a dessert from there, and it's usually in chocolate chip cookie form. And then my wife likes Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and occasionally I will partake in that as well. So I've pre-populated these 3. Again, you can add, subtract, modify, do whatever you want to make this your own spreadsheet in the end. So this is our calorie intake chart. This is all of the things that I might potentially need quick access to of their calorie count and their quantities and what they are. Beneath this in the spreadsheet, I've got a calorie burn chart. So this is calories out as opposed to calories in. And I've got a couple of different options of things that you can do to burn calories. The duration here is in 1 hour periods, whereas it was 1 cup above. I've got little indicators here that will explain that to you. If you forget, you don't need to reference the video. It's all built into the spreadsheet. I've got links to where this information comes from in case you want to go and check it out more. And then I've got how many calories you, on average, just as an average person, burn per hour while doing this particular activity, like sleeping. You know, when you're sleeping for an hour, you burn 50 calories an hour while you're sleeping. So that's kind of good to know and good to factor into our calculator. So that's calories in and calories out, and next we'll move on to how to tabulate that, and I've tried to make it as easy as possible for you. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so at the top of our chart here on the right side, we've got a portion conversion chart. Now, not everything comes in cups, so this is just rough calculations. This may change, especially the gram count per cup when it comes to different items that you're preparing, depending on whether you're slicing it or shredding it or cubing it to put it into your portion cup. It may weigh a little bit different compared to the visual measure of a 1 cup portion of things, but on average, this is standard conversions. So if you're looking at 1 cup, you're looking at 8 ounces, which is about 227 grams. I've also put in a half cup and 2 cups. You can expand on this if you're really making something where you use more than 2 cups. I don't usually use more than 2 cups of anything when I'm cooking. I have a lot of variety of what I put into meals, so 2 is where I stopped. But you do you. And this is up here at the top just for your own, reference in case of need. Next we move to, there's a couple of calculators. First we're going to do an intake calculator to calculate how much calories you're putting into your body every day. It totals down here at the bottom automatically. You may notice that some of this is in purple font and some of it is in black font. Everything on the calorie intake chart, black font, because it doesn't necessarily need to be changed unless you want to change it to a different item or a different, whatever. If you want to modify it, you can, but you don't need to because it's in black font. If it's in purple font, these are the things you want to go in and mess with every day. So you'll see that beer right here is in black font. And, you can take this out of your spreadsheet if beer isn't a thing for you, but beer is a thing for me. So I went ahead and I populated in beer as a permanent calculation. So you'll see up here that this number actually derives from my alcohol calculators tabs totals. And so when I go in and work in that tab in the morning, calculating how much beer I drank the day before, it auto-populates this section for me, and it'll give me both the portions and the calories total in that I drank in beer the day before. So what I need to worry about here is my purple section for my calorie intake. The same goes for my daily burn calculator, how many calories out. We've got our activity column, our duration column, and our calories burned, and you can see the first one here is in black font, which means you don't need to do anything for this. It's actually pre-populated. This is doing nothing while being awake. And you actually burn on an average about 80 calories per hour by just doing nothing. I mean, even if you're just sitting at your desk or if you're, just standing around, you don't ever have a time in your life where you're not burning calories. You need to eat calories just to survive, and by doing absolutely nothing and being awake, you're burning about 80 calories. Again, when you're sleeping, you burn about 50 calories per hour. So these are hours, our duration cycle, and what we have here is, this is calories burned equals 80, referenced back over, let's just do it together. So if you ever mess this equation up, or if you want to start to pre-populate equations like this is how I do it. So this here, you hit an equals sign, and then you go and you point at the amount of calories, which is down here in our list, doing nothing while awake, calories burned 80. So you click on that. So, and let's make sure you can see this at the top here. Yeah. So right here, you've got equals that field and we're building our equation so you can see what's happening. So you got equals this field here. Scroll back up. And then we're going to do that little dot for times duration. So it equals that many calories times this duration. And then you just hit enter and it auto calculates this field for you. It's really simple. You're programming an equation into that field to do it for you. This duration field for this particular one is going to be the number 24, because there's 24 hours in a day. So you've got equals 24 minus all of these hours that you're going to populate with things that you're doing other things. So when you're left, in this example, I rode my bicycle yesterday for an hour. I slept for 8 hours. So when you subtract 8 and 1 from 24, you're left with 15. So this auto-populates based on the other activities I'm doing in a day, and this auto-populates based on the number that this ends up being. So you don't really need to do anything to this field in black here. You just need to update the ones in purple in order to make your total calorie burn come out appropriately every day. So I hope that makes sense. The final calculator we've got here at the bottom is the overall daily calorie value calculator. And what this basically does is it takes your total in and your total out, and it computes those to find out where you're at. If you're looking at a negative number here, like I am, and actually I haven't updated this chart, I've only, the beer has auto-populated, but I haven't done my calories yet for yesterday, through food. So this number isn't right, but it's probably going to still be negative by the time I do that calculation. And when you're looking at a negative number, that basically means that you burned more calories than you took in that day. And what we want to see is negative. It doesn't have to be a huge negative number. It's probably going to get smaller than this when I go and do the actual math, and we'll do that here together in a minute. But we want to see this number be a little bit negative every day, even if it's just like 50, negative 50 or negative 100. That's good. That means you're on the right track. That means you're losing weight. You're burning more calories than you put into your body. If this number is really, really high in the negative value, like you're looking at negative 500, negative 1,000, negative 1,500, that might be an issue where you're burning too many calories and not putting enough into your body. So this is a good way to take a measure of where you're at and what you're doing. And then you take this number every day and you go into our third tab where I've populated calendars, both for the end of this year and then all the way through 2022. And today is actually September 30th, so I haven't been tracking September. I've just been kind of following this program without looking at the results, and I've been seeing physical results in my body, which is nice. But I want to start seeing the actual numbers. So in October, actually starting tomorrow, I'm going to start recording these values here. And let's just say, for example, negative 250 was my value for tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be, but then let's say, for example, I've got a negative 100 and then a negative 120 on Sunday. This is if I'm rocking it and I'm burning more calories than I'm putting in, but not by enough, or not by a lot anyway, about the margin that I want. So you can see these are purple, where I'm inserting my values per day, and they auto-calculate for the week here. So it looks like if this were correct, I will have burned 470 more calories than I put into my body at the end of week 1. These also populate down to a monthly total. So for example, let's say negative 500. There you can see that it adds up to 970 now because you're adding our weekly values together to get a monthly total. I can set up an annual total if there's interest for that too, but I think monthly is how I'm going to be looking at my progress in this. So if you want something different and you're not able to figure out the actual equations yourself, leave a comment in the video and just let me know, hey, in the next version of the spreadsheet, I really like to see, an annual total or whatever it is that you need that you think will help you. I'm happy to make tweaks and adjustments to this. In my view, we're working through this together. It's nice to have a team, and you guys are my team. So let's do it together. Anyway, this is how this works. I want to be able to see my progress. About mid-November is my birthday, so it also happens to be about midway through the beginning of October and the end of December, which is what's left to calculate for this year. So about midway through November, I'm going to take a look at this on camera with you guys and see how I've done and see what my progress is. But for now, these values are actually 0, so I'm going to 0 them back out again, so that I can record them properly. And before I record my values here, I'm gonna, like I said, upload this spreadsheet so that you can use the blank version yourself if you want to, or not. Throw it away, do what you will. Back to the calorie calculator really quickly. Let's walk through this together so that you can see what I ate yesterday and I can be accountable, I guess, in public for my actual calorie burn. Okay, so yesterday was the first time I actually used these calculators once I had them together. I've been doing this all in my head for a while, and I really needed to get it on paper. So I didn't actually populate this properly, and I'm going to explain to you how to do it properly. What you should be doing here is, up here at the top of this section in purple, you should be putting items that you actually eat every single day, or really often, so that you don't have to change them, and you only have to change the ones later down the line, and you just have to change the portion of how much you ate of that thing during that day. I didn't do that yesterday, but I am going to do it today. And one of those things is zucchini. I eat zucchini seriously every single day. So I'm going to move zucchini up here. And what this is going to be, when you type a new item here, you're going to go to your calories in, and it's the same thing we were doing above. We're going to go equal sign to start your equation. You're going to find zucchini right here in your calorie intake, and you're going to click on the calorie field for zucchini. So equals calorie field times, which is that little dot, the portion. Enter. Now, I did not eat, I don't think, what is this? This would be 2 cups of zucchini. I certainly did not eat 2 cups of zucchini last night. I probably ate about half a cup. If you were to slice that up and put it into a measuring cup, it was about half a cup. So I'm going to put 0.5 in my portions, and that will auto-calculate only 9.5 calories out of that zucchini. Zucchini is a pretty lean thing to eat. I do eat peanut butter almost every day, so same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and redo it for you, but You know, actually, let's skip this one. And I'm just going to change. This is what happens when you've got something in that you eat every single day. You can leave your equation, and all you have to do is update your portions. So peanut butter on our chart here. Where's peanut butter? Here it is 1 tablespoon, one portion is 2 spoonfuls or 1 tablespoon. So if I put the number value of 1 in there, that's what that means. It's 1 tablespoon or 2 smaller spoonfuls, which is really how I eat it. And that's correct. I ate 1 portion of peanut butter yesterday, so this actually doesn't need to be touched at all. I did not eat any of it. I did eat spinach, so let's bring that up. I eat spinach pretty much every day. Again, we're going to change this to equal sign. We're going to find spinach here in our list, and there it is. And we're going to hit the calorie button. And then in our equation, we're going to do the multiplication symbol and hit our portion and hit enter. Let's see, our portion for spinach is 1 cup. I did not eat a cup of spinach. I probably ate about a half a cup of spinach. Spinach does wilt down quite a bit when you prepare it though, so yeah, I still think it was only about a half a cup. All right, yesterday I did not eat rice. I ate pasta, and in fact, I ate mac and cheese, Annie's mac and cheese, which is my favorite mac and cheese. It's organic. You should try it if you haven't. They are not sponsoring this video, but they're good. So Annie's mac and cheese. Actually, hold on. Before I go into that, are there more things that I eat every single day, or nearly every single day? You know what? Not in this list right now. I did eat corned meat, so I'll leave that, but mac and cheese. All right, so we're going to go back over here to our final field. We're going to hit the equal sign. We're going to scroll down and find that mac and cheese. Where is it? Here it is. Hit the calorie button. Then next we're going to hit that multiplication sign and hit our portion. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I ate like 2 cups worth of mac and cheese yesterday. I was a hungry person. So watch, there's my calories right there. 720 calories in mac and cheese alone. It happens. That's what I did. That's where it's at. I got to be real with myself. So I also did put some mushrooms. Whoops. Can I spell this morning? All right. Here we're going to hit the equal sign. We're going to go find mushrooms. They're actually at the top. I'm going to hit the mushroom calorie field, then I'm going to hit my multiplication sign, I'm going to hit the portion field, and hit enter. So my equation is done. Mushrooms, I probably ate about a half a cup of mushrooms myself personally, so 0.5. Not a lot of calories out of mushrooms, but a lot of protein, so it's really, mushrooms are great. I've already counted for spinach, so we're going to remove that. What else did I eat in last night's meal? I had zucchini, I had spinach, I had corned meat, I had mac and cheese. That was it, actually, in that meal. So I'm going to go ahead and just change this to corn. I'm just going to copy this right here, corned meat, and I'm going to move it up to this line. Yep, I want to paste. Okay. And now I really think I didn't have any dessert last night, actually. I did have a little bit of cottage cheese around the afternoon hour. So what I want to do here is hit equal. I want to find my cottage cheese down here in my dairy section. Hit my calorie value. I want to hit that multiplication sign and then hit my portion, which is nothing right now. Back down real quick to cottage cheese. My portions are set at 1 serving, which is a 1/4 of a container, and that's probably exactly what I ate of that. So I'm going to do 1 serving of cottage cheese. And that is where my calories were at for yesterday. This is what I ate all day. I know this doesn't look like a lot to you. Actually, it's not a lot for me. I've had days where I certainly eat a lot more than this, but this was yesterday, and you need to be, real and honest about what you eat in a day and what you're burning in a day. So let's talk about burning next. My calorie count intake was about 2,000, which is pretty normal for a healthy adult male. A lot of that came from beer, as you can see, but it is calories nonetheless, and this is looking about right and about on schedule. Okay, for calorie burn. Yesterday, I did some nothing while being awake. That is true, and I'm going to leave that field alone since it is pre-populated. I also did some sleeping. I did sleep, let's see, I went to bed about 11 last night. Got up about, yeah, I actually did sleep about 8 hours last night. And I rode my bicycle for like actually almost 2 hours yesterday. We're going to do 1.75. It was about right here. So that gives me my numbers of how many calories I burned. And you know what? I burned a lot because I rode my bike a lot more. I mean, that 3/4 of an hour burns a lot more calories than just the 1 hour alone. So at 1.75, I actually ended up really burning a lot more calories than I took in yesterday. And that's kind of fantastic. I think if my number got a little higher than this, I might want to be eating more. Actually, I might want to be eating. I might want to look at this number right now and say, Nathan, you didn't eat enough yesterday. Maybe you should have eaten a little more. Maybe we want to keep our negatives no higher than like 500 in order to keep a healthy balance. You know, I don't want to make myself sick or injured by trying to lose weight. That is not the plan. The plan is to eat healthy, not to not eat. So we're going to eat healthy, and I'm going to look at this number, and I'm going to try to continue to refine my diet to workout routine to probably get that to be no more than negative 500. I like that it's negative, but that's a little high for a negative number for me, at where I'm at and where I'm trying to get. Anyway, so you can see how this works. It's pretty easy calculator to manipulate, and really all you got to do, if you're working on alcohol and beer, for me specifically, you can work on that alcohol tab, and that will auto-populate in your calculator here for your intakes. What you need to worry about is this stuff in purple. All of this other stuff is just a chart for you to use. It's information that's here for you that all you have to do is just grab it and pop it into your equations. And really, you just need to get familiar with this one simple equation of equals calorie times portion, and then hit the enter button to make this be a field that works for you. You list your items here. That's the easy part. You know what you ate yesterday. Go ahead and write it in. You know how much of it you ate, so portion size. It's pretty easy to populate, and that equation is not a hard one. Equals calories times portions. Enter, and you're set. This will auto-calculate for you to give you your totals. This will auto-calculate for you to give you your burn. And this will auto-calculate for you to give you your total daily calorie value. And then you take this, you go into tab 3 here, and you pop it into the day. Negative 657. Boom. And everything else, all you got to do is record your daily caloric values here, and then you can come back and look at this every week, every month, every year, and see where you're at, how you're doing, and what you need to adjust to make your schedule the best for you. All right, my people, so that is my plan. Thank you for helping me to be accountable, for walking through with this journey with me and being here for me while I do it. I hope that you can do it too. I would love to hear your comments below about what your plan is. Between now and the next video, which comes out in like a week, which is going to be about how I burn my calories and what my exercise routine is like. I'd love to hear your plan. I'd love to hear what you think I should be doing that I'm not, or you know, vice versa. Let me know. Hit me up. Let's do this thing together. Let's work through this, and let's get fit in our 40s. All right, I'll see you.